Good day everyone, our video for today will be about creating a special cam in AutoCAD just like this figure here. What I'm gonna do first is to create this ellipse using the data 6.50 and 4.25. So to do that, starting from the center, I'll get first the length from here to here by getting the half of 6.50. Then the half of 4.25 to get the length from the center to this top quadrant. To get the radius of this diameter, 6.50 divided by 2 is 3.25. This will be our first radius. Next is the diameter 4.25 divided by 2 will give the radius of 2.125. Now I can create our ellipse. So type command EL for ellipse, enter. Click the center in our command line since the data we will use are radius starting from the center. Then locate the midpoint of our frame here. To locate the center of this area, then click it. Drag the crosshair to the right and select the radius of this diameter, which is 3.25. Drag the crosshair until this midpoint to make sure that our line is straight. Then type 3.25, enter. Now that we get this side, let's proceed with this side. Recall again the radius of this diameter, which is 2.125. Then just type it here and enter. So the next thing I'm gonna do is to input these dimensions first in order to have a guide or basis to create the other parts of this special cam. But before that, I'll make a new layer for the dimensions. Select Layer Properties and select this icon. I'll rename it as Dimensions and make this as the current layer. Now that it's done, type command DIM, then click this endpoint and drag it to the right. Next is this dimension, so click this endpoint and this endpoint. Next is the 0.75 dimension, starting with this side as its base point. So click this endpoint and type 0.75 and enter. Last dimension is this 1.50 using the center of this ellipse as its base point. So click the center, drag the crosshair to the left, and type 1.5 or 1.50 and enter. Next, I'll just make some adjustments with the dimensions I've made based on our figure, just like this one. We have our needed dimensions for now, so we can proceed to our next part, which is this circle using the endpoint of this dimension as its center. So type command C, enter, select this endpoint, and since the given data is a diameter, select diameter in this command line and type 2.76, enter. Next part will be this polygon here with a given diameter 1.75 and 6 sides. Before we proceed with plotting this polygon, I'll get first its radius. So 1.75 divided by 2 is 0.875. That will be the length we will use from here to here. 6 sides, and this will appear. Normally, what I'm gonna choose is inscribed in circle since that is what it looks like in a given figure. But I will use circumscribed about circle instead since it gives much accurate figure compared to the first one. But I'll show it for a clearer comparison. I'm gonna select this one for now, then drag it to the left since this is how the polygon is positioned in the figure. Then I'll type the radius I've computed earlier, which is 0.875, and enter. Now to check, I'll make a line from here to here, and as you can see, it gave a different length from our original figure. So let's change it and use circumscribe about. Drag the crosshair downward, just like the position of the dimension in our given figure, and type our radius, enter. I'll make a line again to check its length, and now it showed the correct length. Since this part is done, let's proceed to the next one, which is the round part here, and use 0.75 as its radius. Type Command C, select this endpoint, and drag it until this side. Next is to create this round part using the radius 3.62. That will be our basis to create this circle here since it has no given dimensions. So I'll use this radius and start from this point to create the whole circle here. Type Command Z, select this endpoint, and type 3.62. Enter. Next is to create the inner circle here using this circle as the guide. So type Command Z, select this center, and just drag it until an intersection from both lines are made. After that, we're gonna create the round part here and here. So to make things easier and create a circle that is perfectly intersected with the round parts here without doing it manually like the first one we did, I'll just make a circle using two tangents and radius. So type Command C, then type TTR for tangent radius, then select this part and this part, and enter the given radius, which is 0.50. Enter. As you can see, the circles are perfectly intersected and there are no excess parts made. I'll just do the same with the other round part. And type 0.25 as its radius, enter. Still perfectly intersected. Next is to trim the unwanted lines. Type Command DR and select the excess lines. Then we'll create the bottom part using mirror. Type Command MI and select the objects needed. Then locate the midpoint of this part and just drag it to the right. So I'll just check if they are intersected properly. To complete the figure, I'll just trim this part. Then make the center line of this figure. Type Command L, locate the endpoint of this side, and start the line from here to here. Then double-click the line, change its color into magenta, and line type into center. After that, I'll make the rest of the dimensions. change the layer, type command DIM, and just put the remaining dimensions to its proper places. Then make some adjustments after. To check what it looks like without the dimensions, I'll just turn this off. So that would be all. Thanks for hanging out with me until the end. See you soon.